Brian Pal of I Run Far here with Mike Foote. If you can be of I Run Far if you want, but of the North Face and Big Dipper ice cream. You finished third at UTMB, man. How does it feel?
Great. It feels good. It was a little bit of surprise. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you did awesome last year. You were 11. You kind of were shooting maybe for top 5 if you had an awesome day. Third, though, man. You were back in the pack. I mean...
Yeah, I was 20th at Lake Contamine at 30K, and you know what? That's exactly where I wanted to be. I was pretty happy with the effort I was putting in at that point, and it was my first 100K, so it was hard to remind myself what kind of pace I needed to be running. You know, you would hit a hill and you would wonder, okay, is this a hill that you run or walk in a 100K race? So that was difficult, but I felt like I had good energy halfway through the race, and it was time to start pushing. So.
In those early miles, when you had a questionable hill, because some are not, you know, some you're going to walk, but did you err on the conservative side, or did you say, you know, this is 100K, I should run it?
I don't know. Probably conservative. It was hard saying in the moment, but yeah, I wanted to make sure I felt good on the second half, so I took it a little easier on the first. Absolutely.
The start. People were through Les Houches in like a blink of an eye. What did it feel like where you were? I mean, did it feel like a road race?
Yes. I mean, it's so interesting when you have a 3-minute countdown and that you feel literally 2,000 people behind you pushing. And, you know, Sebastian Chignaud went down right next to me, and you want to help him, but there's so much energy. And, you know, there was a guy on rollerblades and a 30-pound camera right next to us who almost went down and then almost ran into the crowd. And there's just, it's an anxious start, you know, and there's this false sense of urgency for that first 5K just because you're afraid of what's behind you. But once you get out, it's a run, it's an ultra marathon mountain race just like anything else. So
yeah. So sort of a figure 8 course yesterday on Friday and Saturday. You get down to the far point, go past La Balme, you're coming back. Lake Contamine, about 50K?
Yep, 54K, something like that.
So you're coming back. How do you feel halfway through the race?
Good. Time to move. Yeah, I felt like I was just trying to stay, the first 25, 30K of the race, with the way the course changed and the weather and the dark and the fact that I knew I was going to be running an entire race with a headlamp on and really no sunlight on either side was pretty interesting. And I feel like I woke up and was ready to race about 30K in. So at 50K, I was fully committed to giving my best effort. And it was just a matter of giving that best effort over the right amount of time for that last half and to have barely anything left when I got to the finish line. So.
I mean, I think they Contamine the second time, you were at about 15th place.
Yeah.
There were a few drops after that. Seb, Miguel Ayres, I think.
He was earlier.
He was earlier, right?
But Seb, yes.
I mean, there weren't a whole lot of people dropping it in front of you. You were catching people. Were you kind of enjoying playing Pac-Man?
It gives you energy, you know, you have something to work towards and you wonder how many can I get? That's something we tell our cross-country kids for the school I coach at all the time. How many can you get? So we talk about that, and that's something I think about in a race. You know, how many folks can you catch up with in the next 10K, in the next 20K, in the next 30K? I mean, you always have that goal you set for yourself. So
when did you start, like, really, you know, when did you know your position for sure? Like Les Houches, you were 9th.
Yeah. Depending on the race, sometimes I don't ask and I don't want to know. This race I wanted to know. I wanted to know who was in front of me. I felt good, so therefore I felt confident that I could move forward and catch people. And I never really knew. In fact, I thought I was in 4th place when I crossed the finish line. And my sister told me I got 3rd, which was a great surprise. But I thought the guy I had passed with 7K to go was put me in 4th place from 5th. So
you, even when you thought you had finished 4th, you looked pretty psyched.
I was happy. There's always an asterisk to these types of races, how they always changed. We're all dealt a couple, you know, the same cards, and there was people such as, you know, Julian Corriere and Iker Carrera who weren't at the start line, and I mean, those are 2 guys who I would be honored to be a few places behind them. And so it's always a matter of that. But it was nice to know that 98% of the people, I mean, I really don't know of a lot of other folks who really chose not to show up to the start line, which was great. And regardless, I felt like I had an effort that I could be proud of, regardless of what place I was in. And it was great to have the Montana flag to wave in the wind on the way to the finish line. So
I think you may be the first person who finished UTMB with a flag of a state in the United States.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's 73 countries represented in the event.
And the state of Montana.
And I have a Montana flag, so.
Awesome. You're charging hard late. Were you fifth at Argentière?
Yeah, fifth or fourth. I think I was right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're still looking for headlamps ahead of you, aren't you?
I asked how far ahead is third place, and they said 8 minutes. And I caught him within 3K, so I think within 15, 20 minutes. So I think he was a lot closer than that. But and we were mixed in with the CCCers at that point, and so there was hundreds of people in front of me, it felt like, and so I was looking for people that were moving around the same speed I was. Yeah. So I knew I had 10K flat to go, and I wanted to run it as hard as I possibly could. So
how fast do you think
you always think you're running fast? I'd have to look at my split.
We weren't running 42 or 32 is probably.
No, but it was a lot faster than I've ever finished a 10K out of a half or an ultra marathon before, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it was pretty muddy as well and dark and lots of people, and
I
was trying to be as efficient as I could through that last section. So.
Did you get lost at all coming out of Les Houches the second time? Because she saw multiple runners off course at that point.
No. I mean, I only had a little bit of route finding. For the most part, it was okay. I only a minute or two worth of route finding the entire race. I felt really fortunate to not spend a lot of time with that. So yeah, I lucked out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't want to take away from this moment too much, but what's next? I mean, now that you hit the podium at UTMB, where can we look for you next?
I'm not sure right now. It's cross-country season in Montana. I've got 6 or 8 weeks of hanging out with some high schoolers and coaching and all that, and I'm going to focus on that. And obviously, I'll be at the North Face 50 in San Francisco, so that's the next definite one. I might throw something in between now and then, but that's the next main goal. So
nice. Yeah. Well, we won't get worried when we see you in 20th place, 20K in.
Sounds good.
Because you're a closer, Foote.
Thanks, Brian.
Great job.
Appreciate it.
Okay. First person to fall asleep wins. Or...
Center yourself, Brian. Let's do this. Do you want me to interview you?
Yeah, all right. Interview yourself.
Okay. Hello, this is Mike Foote with I Run Fire, and I'm here with Mike Foote.
As if you couldn't tell, we're a little punch drunk for being sleep deprived.